Hey everyone, and welcome to the video tutorial on how to build the collapsible wooden shelf that I take to my craft fairs and my events. If you would like to follow along with this tutorial, the full written plans will be linked in the description. This will have all the measurements and drawings going over placements of everything. I also want to say that I got the inspiration from Kendra from Can You Believe It on Instagram. She has a version of this that I thought was super cute, and so I sent Ethan to the drawing board to make me a huge apparel shelf, and this is what he came up with. Here's a quick overview of some of your supplies that you will need in order to complete this project. You're going to need wooden boards, 1x2s, 1x4s, wooden dowels, assorted screws, and hardware. We got all of our wood and most of our hardware from Lowe's, but there are also a couple of assorted things that you might need at other stores near you.
Alright, we measured twice, now let's cut once. Alright, so now these 1x2s are going to be the edge of the shelf that sits over the dowels. So we need these to be the same length as the shelf. So I'm going to cut these pieces to 48 inches. Alright, now each of these is not going to be quite 48 inches because the total length of the 1x2s was a little bit over 8 feet. So I still got to make 4 more cuts on these to get 8 4-foot seconds. So now I'm going to essentially measure all of these points and mark where I'm going to screw the bracket on there. Alright, so now I'm going to screw on all of the clamps and also attach the hinges to the top of the supports. So I'm actually going to pre-drill a little bit of pre-drill the holes for the hinges to make sure I get those in the exact right spot that I want. So I marked all of these holes, and that's just so that the screw will set right where I want. I'm going to drill some holes in these aluminum bars that are going to make the cross braces. Alright, so I did use a metal, a specific bit that was meant for metal to drill through that. And these are pretty flimsy, so I had to set them on the cinder block placed very close together so that they wouldn't bend when I was pressing down. So yeah, so that's a little tip there. So let's drill the rest of these holes. Alright, so I'm gonna make sure to sweep up all those metal fragments, obviously. Yeah, and now I will place these on the supports. Alright, so this is gonna be secured with a bolt through from the bottom. Sorry, a bolt looks like this. Secured with the wing nut, because we're going to be taking these on and off when we transport the shelf. So we'll just put the crossbeam on just like so. So now I just have to drill and secure the other sides and test it out. Okay, so after getting the cross braces on, I went ahead and did kind of like a mock setup just to test out the spacing of all the dowel holders, because I actually had to do some like trigonometry type calculations to get the spacing of these right, and I just wanted to make sure I actually had spaced them all out correctly, and I think it looks pretty good. All of the shelves have like a bit of overlap so they can sit on the dowel appropriately, but as you can see right now, there's nothing actually like holding, or maybe you can see, there's nothing really holding the shelf on there or keeping it from sliding forward and backwards. So my thought was to put this 1x2 on the front, so that would kind of lock the shelf in place. So that's probably what I'll do now. Go ahead and fasten the 1x2s to the shelves, and then one other step, and then we'll be pretty much done. Alright, so now I'm going to be fastening these 1x2x4s, 1x2s, excuse me, onto our shelves. So I'm going to be fastening that by applying wood glue to the edges, and then using some nails in addition to that. So I'm going to put on the wood glue. Alrighty, open up our nails here. I'm just gonna set that on there. And getting the first one in will be the trickiest one. Okay. Alright, so I think that first one is probably the trickiest. I got a little paper towel to wipe off some of the excess glue that came out. I think I actually am going to sand this later on as well, so we can get rid of any extra glue at that point. So that was it. You got to be careful when you're nailing. I may have gotten too thick of screws actually, to, you know, nail out of the sides or split this wood, but I think this piece held up okay. I think I just need the 3 nails in addition to the wood glue, and it should hold up good. So let's get into doing the others. Alright, so I did one side of every board. Now I just gotta do the opposite side of each one. So, I'm pretty happy with that because I was quite nervous that, let me go over here. I was quite nervous that I was gonna nail through one of the pieces and have a nail sticking out, but I successfully nailed every single one with no problem. So, let those set up. Alright, so we're nearing the end of the completion of our project. One of the last things we need to do is add this support bar. So this will allow the rack to fold up and then it'll stabilize in its expanded position. So I did some measurements and it kind of just fits on there just like that.
you.